Hi and welcome to today's lesson. This is our third private lesson with Adelaide. Today we're going to be talking about the two hands front choke for our white belt introductory course for Krav Maga. Now on two hands front choke, big difference between me reaching out and trying to strangle somebody versus slamming them into the wall, that sort of thing. Okay. Now we're going to address that in basically the same way, but we just have to be aware of the difference of intent there. So if I just stand here and just try to choke her, it's actually fairly easy to get out of that just because of our ability to attack the person. Now, if I'm not a whole lot bigger than her, but if I was the 350-pound muscled up guy and I'm grabbing her throat, it's going to be extremely difficult for her to get my hands off of her throat. Okay, but she still has both hands and both feet to attack me with. So I mean, scratching at the eyes, poking at the eyes, kneeing to the groin, kicking to the groin, whatever the case might be, we want to become the attacker, and then hopefully that will cause a momentary, disengage on my part. So basically, if she goes to kick me in the groin right now, hopefully that's going to cause a reaction from me, like I need to take one of my hands away in order to block that, or to block her trying to punch me, scratch me in the eye, whatever the case might be. Okay, so if it's a stationary choke, it's not that difficult to become the attacker. A couple things that we have to think about though. If I'm much larger than her and I'm controlling her head, wherever the head goes, the body must follow. So if I grab her by the throat and go to slam her to the ground, that would be really bad. If I slam her into the wall, she hits her back of her head on a brick wall or something like that, obviously she could get really injured. Also, with my hands, especially my thumbs, crisscrossing here around her trachea, if she goes to rip herself away and she allows my thumb to rake across the trachea, I can certainly damage that soft tissue, and that can cause a very serious injury. So we're going to address both of these in roughly the same way. If she goes to grab me, I'm going to bring my hand up, and I'm going to look up at the same time as well. Super important to understand. So I'm going up, looking up, I'm stepping back, I'm using my front delt armpit area to break the hold. There. That is the release. Okay, that's all you need to know. So I can disengage from there. Now she might be able to run and chase me. So we're going to become the attacker as well. Give them something else to think about. Then we're going to disengage first. So I can come up. I can clear that hold and clear that choke. I can come down just to get her arms out of my way. I can do like a number 2 elbow, boom, I can do a hammer fist, I can shove her away, and kick, do whatever I need to do, and then run away. So, first things first, we need to clear the hands from the throat in a way that doesn't harm the soft tissue, in a way that preserves the balance of the defender, all that good stuff. So what I want you to do, Adelaide, is as soon as I grab, I want you to take your dominant hand, and I want you to raise that as you look up to the ceiling, and then you're going to turn away. So I'm here, up, yeah, and turn. Yeah. Now, most common mistake that I see on this one is people see the downward, the clearing of the arms, and they think that that's part of the release. It's totally not though, okay? When you raise, step back with your opposite foot. No, come back. Step back with your opposite foot and don't do anything else. More. There we go. Now, turn really hard to face that wall. Go. That is what you do. Let's try that again. Raise your arm. Step back with the opposite foot. Turn really hard. Boom. I want you to look up slightly as well. Make sure that you're sticking, because remember, the armpit area is what breaks it. So the more you can look up and arch your back, the more that you're going to engage that surface onto the wrist of the attacker. So raise your arm. Step back. Yeah, okay. Now, when we clear the hold, we're clearing the hold, come up. Now, turn really hard. Boom, now freeze. Good. Now, when we're here, just to make sure that I don't try to re-grab or whatever, that's the only time that she would need to clear those arms by going down. But this is what we don't want to do. We don't want to come down like this. Boom, anything like that. It's not chopping at the arm. It has nothing to do with it. Go ahead and grab hard like you're going to choke me. That's all I'm doing right there. So my armpit area is striking them, okay? Now if their hands are still in my way, I can clear them. I can actually reach above the elbow if possible, below that's fine too. And then I can go in with my combatives and go into the side clinch, which we haven't covered yet, but I'm just, providing something else for them to think about so that I can disengage. Okay, so let's try this a couple of times. I'll put that back on. Now I'm going to grab, now go up, step back and clear. Boom. Now, don't go down. Let's practice this. We're just going to work on clearing the hold because it's the most important thing. It's the thing that could save your life. Don't even come down at all with your arm. I just want you to clear the hold and then you're done. Okay? Now your arm looks like this. I want it to look like this. That's pretty good. All right. Step over here a little bit. Okay. Now let's start to blend those steps together a little bit. So now we're going to, boom. Okay. That's pretty good. Come to the other side. That's pretty good. Nice. Make sure you have good firm footing. Very nice. Extend. Extend. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. So now we'll do some follow-up combatives because I'm sure you get the idea. If you haven't caused any pain, all you've done, which you haven't, all you've done is you've cleared my arms from your neck, right? So if I wanted to chase you down and tackle you or punch you or whatever the case might be, I'm perfectly able to do that, right? So now one of the most logical things that I can personally think of is if I've already rotated this way, I could come right back with some sort of a combative that way. That, to me, that's a logical combative, and I'm hitting a logical target on the body. Okay, I'm not hitting your arm, which wouldn't hurt at all, wouldn't do anything, right? So I can, if you're closer to me, like if you're a shorter person, shorter arms, whatever, I've got a #2 elbow hitting to the jaw. That would hurt a lot. I have a side hammer fist, boom, really trying to use my whole body, all that good stuff. So now we're gonna do the release itself, and then we're gonna add, let's say, one follow-up combative. Just give me something to think about so you can get away, okay? So big release, and now hit, boom, okay, good. Just putting up my hand, she's new to Krav Maga, I don't want to get hit in the jaw and get hurt or something. So, boom. Okay, good. Thank you for not hitting me because I didn't put my hand up. Okay, now don't step back before you put that arm up. All this stuff should be happening eventually at the same time. Okay, over here. Okay, come over forward a little bit. Now, your arm looks like this. What should it look like? Like that, okay? And this is, I have to be really picky about that because if she's training with me and I care about her safety, I'm not trying to hurt her, the release is going to work whether she does it right or if she does it wrong, okay? If it's somebody that actually is trying to harm her, if they're actually trying to strangle her, slam her head into something, that sort of thing, it will only work if the maneuver is done technically, correctly, basically. So I have to be picky as an instructor, and if you're training at home, you have to really be picky with yourself. You have to hold yourself to a really, really high technical standard, and even if you think you're doing it correctly, you need to go back and watch the video again and try to do it even more correctly, because that is just really, really important. So let's really try to extend. Boom, look up. That was better. But where was your follow-up combative? Let's do that too. Ready? Okay, now bend that arm and like you're waving it out. So it's your body and then your hand comes out, okay? Yeah, okay, good. She did make contact. I'm really glad I protected myself on that one. Safety and training. Make sure that you protect yourself. Come on, go ahead. Okay. Now, do you feel like you're on balance there?
No, not really.
Okay.
I feel like I was getting rushed. I was trying to do it all at the same time. And
right. And so that's the thing is, one of the things that we have to be aware of when you're training realistic attacks like this. I have to put it on you in a realistic manner, but if I'm going harder or faster than your current level of understanding, I'm not doing you any favors, and it's going to be harder for you to get better. So when you're working with your training partners at home, if you are learning something for the first time, or if you've only known how to do a certain defense for a couple weeks or a couple months, and your training partners are attacking you as hard and fast as they possibly can, she's gonna try to react at the level that I'm attacking her with, okay? So if I'm attacking her with a level 10 of speed and intensity, she's gonna be trying to respond to me with a level 10 speed and intensity, but her understanding isn't good enough. Her technical proficiency isn't good enough to perform the defense at a level 10. That's another common mistake that we see in some of our early testing videos is what I always say is if you can't do it slow, you certainly can't do it fast. So make sure that you're performing the technique at your current level of proficiency and understanding. So I went too fast just now. I'm gonna slow it down a little bit and make sure that she can do it. One thing to keep in mind though, just like when we were talking about stance and movement, right? If you're ever standing on a balance beam, you're gonna fall over. If you have a lot of live resistance, a live attacker pushing into you and that sort of thing, if you try to blade your body like this, okay, you're probably gonna fall over. So my feet are about shoulders width apart. When I step back, I'm in a stance. When I turn, I'm still in a stance. I'm just facing, my other leg is back. So I'm going here. And then when I kind of blend it all together, does that make sense? Okay, so let's try it a little bit slower. So, yeah, that's pretty good. No, so you don't want it to be more bladed, you want to keep it over that way. Okay, let's face this angle. Good. So just stand neutral or passive. Just here. Just relax. Okay, you're here. Make sure you're way up high. And it's okay that you hit me. Okay. There you go. Okay, now remember, elbow leads, and then you're gonna hit. The way I think about it is, for example, if you were behind me and I'm not sure how far away you are, I would really like to do an elbow because it's just really, really powerful strike. So if I go to do my elbow, and then it turns out that you're too far away, I'm just gonna extend my hand and that's gonna hit you. So same kind of deal. You lead with your elbow, use your body, then your hand comes. Make sense?
Yes.
All right, let's go, let's try this angle. Okay, grab, yes. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, another thing that we like to think about, if I'm gonna do a combative, I obviously can't really hit my training partner. If I'm practicing punching somebody in the jaw, I can't actually punch my training partner in the jaw because I would injure them and then they're not gonna wanna train with me anymore. So if I'm practicing a straight punch, I don't wanna go to somebody's face and then stop because that's gonna leave us with something that we call a training scar. It's something that we do incorrectly in training, and then if we ever had to defend ourselves in real life, those mistakes that you make in training are gonna be amplified a lot under stress, okay? So when I practice a punch, I wanna practice the full range of motion. I wanna be boom, okay? So rather than going like this and stopping, I'm gonna be punching past your head, okay? So the idea is, since I've always been training full range of motion, if I decide to actually punch somebody, I'm going to be looking at them, I've acquired the target, and I'm going to drive into them as hard as I possibly can. Does that make sense? Yeah. So when you're trying a hammer fist or something like that, you can't, you can miss, but it might. So what I like to do is just come in and I just make contact and I push through a little bit. So I'm still practicing hitting somebody. I know what it feels like to have somebody's flesh on my hand as I hit, but I'm just not hitting them hard, obviously, to cause injury, okay? So we're here, stand up. Yeah, boom. Good, very nice. Now, let's try to find a stance too. It's easy to kind of go like this with your other hand down, so do it to me. I'm gonna go here, and now we can just kind of find a stance to protect ourselves and then drive with that opposite side foot. Boom. And then disengage here. Make sense? So at the end of our defenses, we don't want to just do something and then stop. We disengage in our stance. Let's try to add that layer to it. I'm here, boom, stance, hit, Now, very nice. That's good. That's good. I'm over here. No, you're not going to attack me. I'm going to attack you. Stance, hit, get away. Good. Okay. And we're just doing a couple. Now, notice I'm kind of bouncy. I want to stay light on my feet. I want to keep a nice wide stance and stay balanced. Okay, so don't be robotic and step slide like that. Stance. Okay, that's good. Just do a follow-up combative. Now, does it have to be a side hammer fist? No. It just has to be a logical combative to a logical place. If you want to practice a palm heel strike, you do 1, 2, then get away. That's perfectly fine. Okay, let's try that. Okay, now you're looking like this. You have to, way high. Straighten that arm out. Good, good. It's
hard to string it all together.
Yes, and this is why you have to, like I said, train at the level of your current understanding, but you also just really have to just rewatch the lessons, and you have to make sure that you're incorporating everything together. If I want to learn a complex defense, which if you think about it, all the potential additional things that somebody can do when attacking you, every single defense is very, very complex. Something as simple as a wrist grab can turn from a wrist grab to a punch in the face to, I mean, you just don't know what somebody's going to do in a violent encounter, okay? So like I said, I could stand here and be stationary, or I could slam her and then I could start punching her repeatedly. Now it's a totally different, totally different set of circumstances. So we got to make sure that you understand the most important thing of the front choke is, clearing the hold. Second most important thing, giving them something else to think about, disengaging in a way that keeps you safe. So as always with all of our lessons that we teach you, if you have any specific questions or if you're confused by anything that's said by an instructor during any of our videos, we're always available if you send us messages, we're always available to answer those and to provide clarification on anything. But other than that, just keep working hard on this, and we'll see you for our next lesson. Thank you.